Nevis recorded a homicide on Friday afternoon. Details were not available up to news time, but it was confirmed that the victim, a young man, was killed on Happy Hill Drive in Charlestown. Police confirmed that the officers were on the scene. SK Newsline will provide more information as it becomes available. The police are investigating a shooting incident that occurred in Gingerland on Thursday. Preliminary investigations have so far revealed that about 8 p.m. on Thursday, Chase Hamilton of Handley's Road was walking along the main road in Rollins Village when unknown assailants started shooting at him. Hamilton ran to escape and fell several times in the process, causing him to dislocate his shoulder and suffer lacerations about the body. He was transported to the Alexandra Hospital in a private vehicle where he was treated and discharged. Personnel from the crime scene unit processed the scene and collected items of evidential value. Persons with information about this incident are asked to contact the Gingerland Police Station by dialing 469-3448, the nearest police station, or the crime hotline at 707. Investigations into the matter are ongoing. Andre Huey, SKN Newsline. I'm Andre Huey coming to you from Independence Square, Bastille. As you know, one of the big stories this week is the removal of street vendors from off the streets of Bastille into the public market. But some of these vendors are actually businesses that are applying their trade, in some cases years, on some notable streets on Bastille. One such business is Samantha's Diner, which is located on West Independence Square. The owners of the business are saying that they've been asked to cease and desist, but have been given no alternative as to where to practice their business. We spoke to them on Friday afternoon.
My name is David Heiliger.
And Samantha Liddy.
And the name of the business is Samantha's Diner. And we do have the best food in a food truck around Bastille. Because as I said to you, I've been plying my trade here for 3 years. All right. And then we just heard a lot of chatter that, well, we're going to have to move. All right. So it was like, okay, move, yes, but move to where? And what we noticed on the 14th was a contingency of police officers around the square. We had already closed when that happened, but because we were hearing the chatter, we thought it was best to get some parking and come and see for ourselves. So that we did. I got a chance to speak to the an Inspector Cromwell. I think they say it's Henry and not Williams, and he was explaining to me that, well, we have to move. All right, so I respectfully asked him, we're going to move to where?
The food truck operators said they have been advised by persons to operate from home in the interim, but they said they tried with little success. Both said the uncertainty of the situation is taking a toll on their mental health and well-being.
Because we have the children to feed, house rent to pay, you know.
The lady is pregnant, actually.
Yeah.
The lady is pregnant, you know what I mean? This is just inhumane, what is being brought upon us. It's overnight. I mean, to talk about the mental torment, sometimes I'm up all 3 o'clock in the morning just wondering what next. You know what I mean? Because this is my wife. I have to provide for my wife and my kids. And not knowing what to do is really, traumatizing.
Meanwhile, Superintendent Cromwell Henry said during this week's edition of Leadership Matters that several locations are being looked at in the Bastille area to accommodate sellers of cooked food.
That there's a committee that is actively working on identifying another space within Bastille to accommodate these food vendors. And very shortly we hope that we'll be able to make an announcement as to where these persons will be relocated to. We have a number of areas that are being considered, and we are weighing the pros and cons of these areas so that we do not create another problem. We want the whole system of vending to be organized and to ensure that there is safety for the vendors themselves and for the patrons, so that everyone could operate in an atmosphere and environment that is safe, and we do not go back to what we had prior to the move.
Mr. Heiliger has some suggestions for the authorities.
Reach out to us, the government, just reach out to us, come and have a discussion with us. I mentioned in an earlier interview that, Bank Street could be used as a location. There's also precedence for that. being that during the carnival season, if you could recall, that street is actually blocked off for about a month and maybe a week to facilitate the tents that and the stage that is being erected there for Party Central and other activities. But in the meantime, whatever provision you have to make, let us ply our trade around the square and then move us to that location if there is no other alternative. But you can't just tell us, well, you know, you have to go out of the city, because we rely on foot traffic.
Other food establishments also had to cease operations. Coming to you from Independence Square, Bastille, for SKN Newsline, I'm Andre Hugh. When we come back, the COVID-19 Task Force responds to vaccination discrimination. Elliot's Funeral Parlor is the first licensed embalmer in the Federation of St. Kitts and Nevis. We have a friendly and professional staff. At Elliot's Funeral Parlor, we offer a wide range of packages from $6,500. Homegoing service at chapel, locally made caskets, tailoring of outfit for deceased of your choice, wake, overnight with slideshow, funeral, death announcement, obituary, booklets, family pin-ons, memorial books, preparation of funeral arrangements, wreath, fresh and artificial. For further information, call 469-3298, 664-2007 or 660-0186. Elliot's Funeral Parlor in Gingerland, Nevis. Dedicated to those we serve.
When you need electronics or appliances, find just what you want quickly in one location. Yes, everything's under one roof. Only at Smart Electronics. We have tons of name brands, amazing service, and easy layaway plans. Summer is just around the corner, and we will save you the hassle of walking around town or going to St. Martin. We have everything you need right here in St. Kitts, so don't get confused and go different places. We are located at Port Zonte opposite the food court. Visit us today, or if you have any questions, you can call 466-4271. Smart Electronics, way to live a smart life. Terms and conditions apply.
Where will we go when the quarantine thing done and everybody touch?
An open interactive event can be described as
tremendous, effective,
on par with any conference around the world.
From exhibitions to trade shows, corporate events to product launches, from press events to political functions. We are the secret sauce behind events that make you go, wow. We've staged multiple world-class events in the Caribbean and developed the skill to deliver quality in every detail, whether the event is live or fully virtual, or maybe even somewhere in between. At Open Interactive, we got your events covered. Get your free quotation today at www.madebyopen.com.
Autoplus Car Wash, located on the College Street Gut, Bastille, St. Kitts. Bring your car to Autoplus Car Wash to remove water stains, wiper marks. Get your doors, roof panel cleaned, seat floor mats, buffing, headlights, and engine wash. You get quality service at the best price at Autoplus Car Wash. They really care for your car. Call 765-5140 or visit them on the College Street Gut, Bastille, St. Kitts. Autoplus Car Wash, where service is number one. Welcome back. A member of the COVID-19 task force has responded to claims of vaccination discrimination. More from SK Newsline's Glenn Bart.
COVID-19 task force member Dr. Cameron Wilkinson rejected the notion that the task force is engaged in discrimination against persons not vaccinated against the COVID-19 virus. Speaking at a recent NEOC COVID-19 briefing, Dr. Wilkinson said their efforts with vaccination is about protecting citizens and residents who cannot be vaccinated, such as the elderly and children under 18 years of age. His comments came in the context of discriminatory claims made because of approval of a major sport event, the Caribbean Premier League, the highly popular T20 cricket tournament that comes to St. Kitts and Nevis this year.
Our fight has also been for the pregnant mother and the unborn child who cannot be vaccinated. And so there is no discrimination against those persons at all. By us encouraging you out there who can be vaccinated to go forward and get vaccinated is so that you can protect those persons. Our fight has also been for the elderly and frail who cannot be vaccinated. And so there is no discrimination against those persons. We are encouraging you again who are out there who can be vaccinated to go forward so that you can protect these persons. As it relates to mass events, and CPL is a mass event, we know that mass events can be super spreaders. And so in the first instance, as we are moving forward with mass events, we are saying that they can be safely done with vaccinated adults. And if one wants to go to the CPL and you can be vaccinated, then you can simply go forward and get vaccinated so that you can attend the CPL game. There is no discrimination at all. And so by having a crowd or spectators attending the CPL who are vaccinated, we know that the chance of getting a super spreader event emerging from this is significantly decreased.
Current protocols are also impacting many entertainers, with their sources of income-generating events deemed potential super spreaders of the COVID-19 virus. Glenn Bart reporting for SK Newsline.
The government of St. Kitts and Nevis throws its support behind Cuba as the country faces a difficult period. SK Newsline's Jacinthia Teixeira reports.
The government of St. Kitts and Nevis says it stands in solidarity with the people and government of Cuba, as the nation is experiencing significant social instability at this time. In a press release, Prime Minister Dr. Timothy Harris underscored the cordial bilateral relationship shared between the Federation of St. Kitts and Nevis and the Republic of Cuba, and said that the government of St. Kitts and Nevis stands in solidarity with the Spanish-speaking Caribbean nation that is undergoing a period of difficulty at this time. The Prime Minister said, Cuba at this moment in its history is experiencing significant social instability at this time, said Prime Minister Harris on his television program Leadership Matters. Cuba has never seen the protest and the magnitude and the type that it is now being evidenced, and we hope that the situation would soon return to calm. It is a critical situation, and we, of course, have high favor for the government and people of Cuba, who have always been with us in the Caribbean, who has provided free education to many of our citizens and residents, and even in our fight against this dangerous pandemic has made available to us its experts in health, and a brigade from Cuba has come to help us. Dr. Harris said that St. Kitts and Nevis's resident ambassador to Cuba reported that President Miguel Diaz-Canel convened a press conference with key ministers to discuss issues relating to unprecedented widespread protest on July 11th. Cuba's communist government stepped up its crackdown against demonstrators and activists on Monday, cutting off most communications with the outside world, deploying security forces across the country, and arresting more than 100 people, many of whose whereabouts remain unknown, activists said. Well-known dissidents and civil rights activists are among those detained by Cuban authorities in the aftermath of unprecedented nationwide protests that shook Cuba Sunday. I am Jacinthia Teixeira, reporting for SKN Newsline.
St. Kitts and Nevis will be getting field hospitals as part of capacity building in the context of the COVID-19 pandemic. SK Newsline's Glenn Bart reports.
2 field hospitals are to arrive in St. Kitts and Nevis near the end of August, said Mr. Abdul Samuel, head of the National Emergency Management Agency, or NEMA. According to Mr. Samuel, the 2 structures will expand capacity of the hospitals on both islands and are coming courtesy of the government of the United States via its embassy for Barbados and the Eastern Caribbean. Samuel said the capacity building development comes as a result of diplomatic and technical discussions.
Just yesterday, I was informed by the HAP division of the U.S. Embassy in Bridgetown, Barbados, that the field hospital that NEMA would have engaged the HAP division on would be arriving in the Federation in August, at the end of August this year. so that our capacity to be able to have more hospital beds in the field will be increased. So we will be having a 40-bed field hospital. One will go to Nevis and one will come to St. Kitts.
In more recent times, St. Kitts and Nevis has benefited from U.S. assistance primarily through institutions such as the U.S. Agency for International Development, the World Bank, and the Caribbean Development Bank. Glenn Bart reporting for SKN Newsline.
The winners of the 2021 Creative Youth Competition under the auspices of the Eastern Caribbean Central Bank are announced. Jacinthia Teixeira has more.
The Eastern Caribbean Central Bank, ECCB, and the Regional Security System Asset Recovery Unit, RSS-ARU, announced the winners of 2021 ECCB RSS-ARU Creative Youth Competition. Students from 5 ECCB member countries impressed the 7 judges with their art pieces, which were assessed in 2 age categories, 13 to 16 and 17 to 19. In the 13 to 16 category, Janessa Durhan of the St. Vincent Girls High School in St. Vincent and the Grenadines captured first place with her piece on the topic, Evolution of Payment Method. How will the use of money transform in the future? Raven Gabrielle of the Castries Comprehensive Secondary School in St. Lucia came in second, and Leah Alexander of the St. Andrews Anglican Secondary School in Grenada walked away with third place. In the 17 to 19 age category, Melanie James of the Sir Arthur Lewis Community College in St. Lucia got the judges' nod for first place with her depiction of the topic, the rise of domestic and social ills in the face of COVID-19. Shima Humphreys of Antigua State College in Antigua and Barbuda took second place, and Ashley Wilson of the Charles E. Mills Secondary School in St. Kitts and Nevis came in third. The first place winners in each of the categories will be awarded $3,000 cash prize, and a grant of $2,000 will be awarded to their respective schools. The students who placed second will receive $2,500, and their schools will be presented with a grant of $1,500. The third place winners will receive $1,500, and their schools will be awarded a grant of $1,000. 96 students submitted their pieces under 3 topics: the rise of domestic and social ills in the face of COVID-19, women, the forgotten resource, equal opportunities for women in the workplace and society, and the evolution of payment methods. How will the use of money transform in the future? The ECCB RSS-ARU Creative Youth Competition is part of the ECCB's Community Outreach Program and is aimed at encouraging critical and innovative thinking and raising the awareness of secondary school and community college students in the ECCU on issues of economic and social development. The winning pieces can be viewed on the ECCB's website and its Facebook page. I am Jacinthia Teixeira for SKN Newsline.
The SKN Newsline website now offers you more news. Log on to www.sknnewsline.com for local, regional, and international news. You can also watch the latest newscast and keep abreast with news in sports, all from sknnewsline.com. That's www.sknnewsline.com. News at your fingertips.
It's the new and improved SKN Newsline Android mobile app. With the SKN Newsline app, you can watch your news reports, the SKN Newsline Newscast, sports, special features, and so much more. You can also send us a WhatsApp or call us directly. Go in the Google Play Store, search SKN Newsline, and download the app today. The SKN Newsline mobile app. News on the go. Welcome back. We turn our attentions now to regional news. United States President Joe Biden says a limited number of U.S. Marines would be sent to Haiti to secure the American embassy there after the assassination of President Jovenel Moïse. Haitian police have arrested the head of the security for the presidential palace as they investigate the murder. More from Al Jazeera.
The head of security for Haiti's presidential palace has been taken into custody in connection with the assassination of President Jovenel Moïse last week. It comes as authorities turn to a group of insiders for answers. Katia Lopez-Horian has more.
Investigators in Haiti are looking into whether the assassination of President Jovenel Moïse was an inside job. Now the man in charge of securing the presidential palace, Dimitri Hérard, has been taken into custody for questioning. Months before the assassination, he reportedly made several visits to Colombia, where most of the suspected assassins are from. The detention follows a report from a Colombian TV news station claiming that interim president, Minister Claude Joseph, is a mastermind behind the assassination. Accusations the government says are outright lies.
The National Police formally denies the allegations, in which Haitian and foreign investigators have supposedly found clues that link interim President Claude Joseph to the assassination of Jovenel Moïse.
The leading prosecutor says Haitians deserve answers about how the group appeared to easily infiltrate the president's residence on July 7th.
It's an embarrassment because to assassinate a president at his home where he lived is just terrible. At an international level, we're talking about murdering a president. It's embarrassing.
Colombian police says its initial investigation shows former soldiers were hired to capture the president and hand him over to U.S. drug enforcement authorities.
According to the information provided by the Colombians, they plan to arrest the president and, according to them, hand him over to the DEA.
U.S. President Joe Biden says military assistance to Haiti will be limited.
We're only sending American Marines to our embassy to make sure that they are secure and nothing is out of whack at all. But the idea of sending American forces into Haiti is not on the agenda at this moment.
With the investigation now involving several governments, more questions are being raised about who orchestrated the assassination and why. Katia Lopez-Horian, Al Jazeera.
Internationally, torrential rains have caused devastating floods in Europe, where rivers have burst their banks, killing dozens and leaving hundreds missing. More from ABC News.
Drought in the West overseas, a flooding disaster in Europe, where rivers have burst their banks after severe storms, dozens killed, hundreds more missing. Marcus Moore is in Germany with the latest. Good morning, Marcus.
Well, George, good morning. Here in the town of Bliesheim, they are in the process of trying to clean up. They're pumping out the massive amounts of water that filled the homes and businesses there. You can see the furniture there that's covered in mud. There are cars that are also drying out, but you can see the water line. They had chest-high water in this town in the midst of this storm, as around the area here, search and rescue efforts continue. Torrential rain and rushing water swallowing whole towns, cutting villages off from rescuers, leading to a disaster in Europe this morning.
The rain just kept coming, and then throughout the night it just kept coming down, and we woke up to what you see here.
At least 1,300 missing, at least 100 killed.
Count yourself lucky if you can get out of here alive. You can compare it to Hurricane Katrina. I mean, everybody here has lost everything.
Devastating flooding across Western Germany, the Netherlands, and Belgium. Cars and homes swept away after days of rain led to rivers overflowing. You can see the water rushing by and then look at the floodwater off in the distance behind me. They have closed this road because they're concerned the bridge could collapse. Thousands stranded by the floodwaters. Helicopters deployed to rescue the stranded. In Belgium, men smashing through a wall to rescue this elderly woman. And in Germany, rescuers standing on top of fire trucks to get to trapped residents. 900 German soldiers now deployed to help with the rescue efforts. You can see them here continuing to pump out that water here in Bliesheim. And one man told me that this is a lot like Hurricane Katrina to them when they see the images of the high water and the communities that have been cut off as the search and rescue continues. Guys.
Hit so hard, we're going to follow this story all morning long.
The number of people infected with the COVID-19 virus is rising in parts of Africa because of the rapidly spreading Delta variant. With oxygen in short supply, Senegal's health ministry is investigating immobile oxygen facilities to be deployed in health centers. Al Jazeera's Nicholas Haig reports from Dakar, Senegal.
4-year-old Umi Wad is getting her tonsils removed, a normally routine operation if it were not for COVID-19. Oxygen has become a precious resource, anesthesiologist Khadija Dia cannot afford to waste. She administers it with caution.
If someone has no oxygen for just 3 minutes, they will go into cardiac arrest. That could lead to cerebral epoxy. Oxygen is vital, whether it be for us or for the patient. Once she's asleep, the machine pumps oxygen into her system, keeping her alive.
In the operation room, there are no oxygen tanks. Umi and all 250 patients in need of oxygen are connected to this noisy machine found in the back of the hospital. The machine does the breathing for them. It takes in ambient air, concentrating the oxygen and pumping it through pipes to the hospital's surgery theaters and wards. Senegal's Ministry of Health ordered these mobile oxygen facilities to all of its public hospitals just before the COVID-19 outbreak.
Oxygen is medicine, and without it, we cannot treat patients. In many developing countries, there is a lack of access to oxygen, which means some surgery are cancelled because buying oxygen tanks is too expensive. And so, our head of state made hospitals autonomous in oxygen a top priority.
Faced with the contagious COVID-19 Delta variant, the state is deploying mobile oxygen machines to every health facilities in the country to ensure surgery can go as planned.
This is a crucial part of the post-operation phase. It's where patients regain consciousness thanks to a steady flow of oxygen. It prevents the patient from running into respiratory distress and helps them catch their own breath.
Every breath counts. A coalition of global health campaigners says 18 low-income countries are dealing with an acute oxygen shortage. Most are in Africa. They accuse multinational companies of overcharging oxygen supply.
Buying oxygen used to be the hospital's biggest expense. Now that we don't depend on it, we invest that money into paying staff on time and ensuring better treatment.
Umi is slowly waking up from a surgery that would not be possible without oxygen, an essential and life-saving resource that so many need in the face of a third wave of COVID-19 infections in Africa. Nicholas Hawk, Al Jazeera, Dakar.
In sports, a player with the Jamaica football team tested positive for COVID-19 at the CONCACAF Gold Cup in the USA. More from TVJ News.
Welcome back to Primetime Sports Thursday. The Jamaica Football Federation has confirmed that a member of the Reggae Boys team has tested positive for COVID-19. TVJ Sports sources say the affected player is forward Bobby Reed. The 28-year-old returned a positive test on Wednesday and is now in isolation from the rest of the squad. Head of the Jamaican delegation, Gregory Daly, gave an update on the next step from here.
Well, what we are doing now is activating the necessary precautions. The player and his roommate were both isolated immediately. Steps are in place now to separate all the players so that they can have their own space in terms of managing what is happening. And there's a test that is scheduled for later today, and then we'll move from there as the results come in.
Reed scored Jamaica's second goal in their 2-0 victory over Suriname on Monday. This means Reed will be out of contention to play in Jamaica's second game of the tournament against Guadeloupe on Friday. Reed has scored 2 goals in 7 appearances for the Reggae Boys.
This has been the SKN Newsline and Newscast on Channel 95. If you want more on these stories, you can visit our website at www.sknnewsline.com. From all of us here at SK Newsline, I'm Andre Huey. Thank you for watching.